Welcome to a journey where your eyes might betray you. Prepare to be amazed by our first mind-boggling optical illusion. Optical illusions, an intriguing phenomenon, are not just fun and games, they reveal deep aspects of our perceptual systems and how our brain processes information. They are visual experiences that differ from the objective reality, causing us to perceive things that aren't really there, or even miss things that are right in front of us. Now let's dive into our first captivating optical illusion. Picture this. A static image that seems to be in constant motion. It's not a magic trick, it's a clever manipulation of visual cues that your brain misinterprets. This illusion is called the rotating snakes illusion. Despite its name, it doesn't involve any real snakes. Its name comes from the circular arrangement of snakes that appear to be rotating even though the image is static. This illusion works by exploiting the way our brain processes motion. Our brains are wired to detect movement. When we see an object moving, our brain attempts to predict where it will go next. But in the case of the rotating snakes illusion, the pattern of light and dark contrast tricks our brain into thinking the image is moving, even when it's not. The illusion is made up of repeating patterns of squares that alternate between light and dark. The pattern creates a sense of rotation because our brain processes the dark squares faster than the light squares. This discrepancy in processing speed leads to the perception of motion, making the image appear to rotate slowly. This illusion is a classic example of how our brain and eyes work together to interpret the world around us. But as you can see, they don't always get it right. Our brain is constantly making predictions and assumptions based on the information our eyes feed it. And sometimes, those assumptions can lead us astray. This illusion showcases how our brain and eyes can be tricked into seeing things that aren't there. Fascinating, isn't it? Now that your mind is warmed up, let's dive into the science behind these captivating illusions. Optical illusions are more than just fun mind games. They reveal fascinating insights into how our brains process information. So what is happening inside your brain when you're staring at these illusions? Visual perception, the process that allows us to interpret the information our eyes collect, is a complex task performed by the brain. Our eyes capture light, which is then converted into electrical signals. These signals travel along the optic nerve to the brain, where they are interpreted into the images we see. But here's the catch. Our brain doesn't work like a straightforward camera, capturing exactly what's in front of us. Instead, it uses past experiences and knowledge to make educated guesses about what it sees. This is why we can recognize familiar objects even in poorly lit or unclear conditions. Now, optical illusions cleverly exploit this process. They present our brains with ambiguous or conflicting information, forcing it to make its best guess, and sometimes this guess is not entirely accurate, leading to the illusion. For instance, in the famous checker shadow illusion, the brain uses its understanding of light and shadows to interpret the image. It assumes that a square in a shadow should be lighter than it appears, causing us to perceive it as lighter than a square outside the shadow, even though they are the same color. In the spinning dancer illusion, the lack of visual cues about the dancer's direction of spin causes our brain to fill in the gaps, leading to different interpretations. This is why optical illusions can look different to different people, or even change in appearance as we continue to look at them. Our brains are constantly re-evaluating the visual information they receive, leading to these fascinating misinterpretations. And there you have it, the science behind why your eyes might see things that aren't exactly as they appear. Let's take a step back in time and explore some classic optical illusions that have puzzled minds for decades. First up, we have the infamous Penrose Stairs, also known as the impossible staircase. Conceived by Lionel Penrose and his son Roger in the 1950s, this illusion is a two-dimensional depiction of a staircase in which the stairs make four 90-degree turns as they ascend or descend, yet form a continuous loop, so that a person could climb them forever and never get any higher. This is what's known as an impossible object. It can be drawn or made as a model to create the illusion, but it can't exist as a real three-dimensional object. Next on our list is the Herman Grid, named after Ludimar Herman, who discovered it in the late 19th century. It's a simple black and white grid, but when you look at it you see ghostly gray blobs appear at the intersections. The blobs disappear if you look directly at an intersection though. This illusion highlights how our brain's perception can be easily fooled, and is often used in psychology to demonstrate the concept of lateral inhibition. Another classic is the Canisa triangle, named after the Italian psychologist Gaetano Canisa, who first described its effect. If you place three Pac-Man-like figures in a certain way, your brain will see a bright, glowing triangle that doesn't actually exist. This is an example of illusory contours or subjective contours where our minds fill in the gaps to make sense of the picture. And who can forget the infamous Rubens Voss? It's a simple black and white image that can be seen in one of two ways, as a vase, or as two faces looking at each other. This illusion, developed by Danish psychologist Edgar Rubin in the early 20th century, is a classic example of figure-ground perception, where your brain can only focus on the vase, the figure, or the faces, the ground, at one time, but not both. These classics have stood the test of time, continually tricking our eyes and brains into seeing the impossible. In the modern world, optical illusions have taken on a new life with technology. Let's explore some recent examples. In the digital era, optical illusions have evolved into a sophisticated form of artistry, with technology amplifying the intrigue and complexity. Let's dive into the world of modern optical illusions and see how they continue to baffle our senses. One such marvel is the ambiguous cylinder illusion. This illusion plays with our perception of shape and perspective. When viewed from a certain angle, the object appears to be a circular cylinder, but when mirrored, it morphs into a square cylinder. This is due to the unique shape of the object, designed to look different depending on the angle of light and perspective. Next, let's shift our focus to the color-changing card trick. In this illusion, the color of the cards changes as the scene unfolds. However, the real trick here is the gradual alteration of the background color, causing our brain to adjust the perceived color of the cards. This illusion exposes the intriguing way our brain processes color in relation to its surroundings. Moving on, we have the illusory motion, a static image that appears to move. This illusion is created using repetitive patterns and contrasting colors, which trick our brain into perceiving motion where there is none. This demonstrates the brain's propensity to fill in gaps based on patterns it recognizes. Finally, we encounter the ghostly gaze illusion. This illusion involves a face that seems to follow your gaze no matter where you move. This is achieved through clever manipulation of the image's depth cues, causing our brain to interpret the face as always looking directly at us. As technology advances, so do the illusions that can be created, proving that our eyes can still be fooled in new and exciting ways. With these illusions, we see how technology has given a new twist to the ancient art of optical illusion, creating an enchanting blend of science, art, and psychology that continues to captivate and challenge our understanding of perception. Optical illusions aren't just for fun, they have real-world applications and impacts. Let's explore some of them. In the world of art, optical illusions have been used for centuries to create depth and perspective. The famous Italian artist, Leonardo da Vinci, utilized this technique in his masterpiece, the Mona Lisa, to give the illusion of a smile that seems to change when viewed from different angles. In the modern era, street artists use optical illusions to create stunning three-dimensional images on two-dimensional surfaces, transforming ordinary cityscapes into extraordinary works of art. In the field of psychology, optical illusions are a valuable tool for studying the human mind. They help us understand how we perceive the world around us, and how our brain processes visual information. For instance, the Rubens vase, an image that can be seen as either a vase or two faces, demonstrates that our perception is influenced by what our mind expects to see, not just what our eyes observe. Beyond art and psychology, optical illusions have found their way into the realm of technology. Augmented reality and virtual reality technologies, for instance, rely heavily on optical illusions to create immersive experiences. They trick our brains into believing we are in a different environment, or interacting with objects that aren't really there. This technology is transforming industries from gaming and entertainment to education and healthcare. Even in architecture, optical illusions are used to enhance the aesthetic appeal of structures or to make small spaces appear larger. Architects use tricks of perspective, light, and shadow to create buildings that seem to defy the laws of physics. In all these fields, optical illusions serve to remind us that what we see isn't always the absolute truth. Our perception of reality is a construct of our minds, influenced by a myriad of factors from our past experiences to our current expectations. From art to technology, optical illusions continue to play a significant role in shaping our world. As we wrap up this journey into the world of optical illusions, let's summarize what we've learned. Optical illusions are a fascinating phenomenon that play tricks on our senses, causing us to perceive things that are not there or to see things in a way that differs from reality. They are a testament to the incredible complexity of our visual system and the power of our brains. We've delved into the science behind these illusions, discovering that they are not just simple tricks, but rather complex interactions between our eyes and brains. Light, color, and perspective all play crucial roles in creating these illusions. Our brains interpret these visual cues, often filling in gaps or making assumptions, which can lead to these captivating illusions. Throughout history, optical illusions have played a significant role. From the ancient Greeks, using perspective tricks in their architecture, to Renaissance artists mastering the art of illusion in their paintings, these illusions have been a part of human culture for centuries. And in the modern age, optical illusions have found a new home on the internet, where they continue to baffle and amaze us. But it's not just about the wow factor. Optical illusions have a far-reaching impact. They provide valuable insight into how our brains work, helping scientists understand more about cognitive processes and perception. They can also be used in practical ways, from road safety designs to virtual reality technology. Optical illusions truly are a testament to the incredible complexity of our visual system and the power of our brains. They remind us that what we see is not always what it seems, and that our perception of the world is a complex interplay between sensory input and brain processing. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the captivating world of optical illusions. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious. Before we wrap up, we have a fun challenge for you. It's your turn to dive into the world of optical illusions. Try creating your own optical illusion. Use what you've learned today about light, color, and perspective. Share your creations with us in the comments below or on our social media channels. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about exploring and learning. We're excited to see your creativity in action, and who knows, maybe your illusion will be featured in one of our future videos, so go ahead, amaze us, and remember, the only limit is your imagination. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the captivating world of optical illusions. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-bending content. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious.